Welcome. This is a guide for those of you who are thinking, where might I start taking pre-health courses once I get to Dartmouth? If you're thinking about medicine, whether that's human medicine, physician, or dental, or veterinary medicine, this guide will help you think about what courses are possible this fall for pre-health and also into your first year. We hope it's helpful. All right, two quick last thoughts. One, calculus is a prerequisite for general chemistry and general physics. So even when someone chooses not to take any other pre-health coursework in their first year, they will often take at least the equivalent of Math 3, which is the course required for Gen Chem and Gen Physics. That can be Math 1 in the fall, followed by Math 3 in the winter, or Math 3 in the fall or winter. And some folks will even devise a plan to take the equivalent of Math 3 in the summer between first and second year. The second thing, we really want to recommend taking only one lab course, especially during your first year. Dartmouth is uniquely paced and rigorous, and then we have the added ingredient of this being a remote term. So keep in mind that success is more important than speed in this process. Also, it may be interesting for you to know that a Dartmouth term has the equivalent amount of work and material as a semester school. So our 10-week term has the equivalent amount as a 16-week semester. So it really is a new kind of pace for a lot of students to acclimate to. So even if your friends are taking 4 and 5 courses and you wonder why we're only taking 3, that's a reason. So just want to plant that seed for you to know. All right, two quick last thoughts. One, calculus is a prerequisite for general chemistry and general physics. So even when someone chooses not to take any other pre-health coursework in their first year, they will often take at least the equivalent of Math 3, which is the course required for Gen Chem and Gen Physics. That can be Math 1 in the fall, followed by Math 3 in the winter, or Math 3 in the fall or winter. And some folks will even devise a plan to take the equivalent of Math 3 in the summer between first and second year. The second thing, we really want to recommend taking only one lab course, especially during your first year. Dartmouth is uniquely paced and rigorous, and then we have the added ingredient of this being a remote term. So keep in mind that success is more important than speed in this process. Also, it may be interesting for you to know that a Dartmouth term has the equivalent amount of work and material as a semester school. So our 10-week term has the equivalent amount as a 16-week semester. So it really is a new kind of pace for a lot of students to acclimate to. So even if your friends are taking 4 and 5 courses and you wonder why we're only taking 3, that's a reason. So just want to plant that seed for you to know. All right, on to the details. What are your options for getting started? Let's start with math, since it is the baseline for getting started with general chemistry at Dartmouth or general physics. The two maths that will fulfill any prereqs for almost all health profession schools would be a general calculus and a general statistics course. At Dartmouth, it's the equivalent of Math 3 that allows you to move forward with general chemistry or general physics. Math 3 or an exemption from Math 3. Some folks might take Math 1 followed by Math 3. Some folks might start with Math 3. And the other course again is statistics. And at Dartmouth, Math 10 fulfills statistics along with Soci 10 and Psych 10. Those 3 are the most common. And then Gov 10 or Econ 10 are often for those folks who are in those majors. There are others as well, as you can see. So where do you start in the fall? Well, in the fall, you can start with Math 1 or Math 3. And then if you've been placed into a higher level math, you may take that. But keep in mind that if you take the higher level maths, you're taking them strictly out of interest or for a future major. For pre-health, Math 3 is completely sufficient. Options for the winter, again, Math 3. And then again, Math 8, 11, and 13. Let's talk about general chemistry. The prerequisites are 2 general chemistries with a lab. At Dartmouth, that's Chem 5 and 6 or the equivalent. Chem 10 is the honors version and will fulfill both 5 and 6. Math 3 is the prerequisite for any of the above. So what are your options for the fall? Well, if you came in with Math 3 credit, you could jump into Chem 5 in the fall. If you feel like you want to get used to Dartmouth a little bit or start with biology, that's fine. You could take Chem 5 in the winter. If you have Chem 5 credit, you could start with Chem 6 in the fall. And again, if you have a strong background, exempted out of Chem 5 and or placed, you could start with Chem 10 and get the credit for both Chem 5 and 6. Just note that it's only offered first year, and also, even if you're placed into it, you're not required to take it, just know that. In the winter, another option again is Chem 5. By now you've had the chance to take Math 3 in the fall, or again, perhaps you had the equivalent. And then in the spring, Chem 6 comes back around. Chem 6, if you note, is in the fall and the spring, but not the winter. Just important to note that. Let's talk about biology. All right, a minimum of 2 bio courses with lab will fulfill prerequisites. At Dartmouth, those can be fulfilled through foundation courses in the bio department. At Dartmouth, many students wind up taking actually 3 of those courses for MCAT prep since they're taught as separate topics rather than a comprehensive human bio sequence in 2 terms. There are also additional courses for vet school, and for that, just consult with us. If you don't wind up taking 3 and do take 2 bio courses, that's okay. You will have met the prerequisites, but to be more prepared for an MCAT, for instance, you may have to self-study, or you can take an upper level course that has some of that material. That's another way to do that. So what are your options? In general, there's Bio 2, which we'll talk about in a minute, as well as Bio 11, and then there are these foundation courses, Bio 12, 13, 14, and 16. We'll talk about them more in a minute. In the meantime, how do you even know where to start? How do you assess? Well, I would say check out the Welcome 24s page on the Bio Department website. It's got lots of great info. So if you go to the Bio Department, look under Undergraduate, and then the Welcome 24s page. It's a fantastic site with lots of advice for how to think about getting started. They've also developed a self-assessment exam, and that's just between you and you, but it's a fantastic way to help gauge what might be a good starting point for you. Also, just consider your own background. How recent did you have a chance to take biology or even chemistry? Even if you loved it, has it been a few years? How strong is your interest already for pre-health? Are you excited about diving into science? Are you feeling very nervous about it? Do you need more time to decide if are you committed to the pre-health journey? So there's lots of factors there. And then also you can consult with us. We are here for you. We're going to have a whole day of advising, as we noted, and during the orientation. And even though those will be short, we might help you be able to decide where your start point is. Or we'll have one-on-one meetings during our fall, winter, and spring of your first year, and we would love to talk with you about that. Okay, let's talk about those bio details. Let's talk about Bio 2 first. That is a fantastic course for folks who have not had a lot of bio background or for whom it's been a while, even if you loved it. It's also a fantastic course for folks who are just testing the waters because it is taught with a lot of medical relevance. So it will be a wonderful course for building up a foundation and preparing for science at Dartmouth if that's something else you would just like to feel more confident about. So it is only taught in the winter. So one option would be to take, Math 1 in the fall, followed by Math 3, and then Bio 2 in the winter, or Math 3 in the fall, followed by Bio 2 in the winter, if Bio 2 felt like the right starting point for you. Bio 11 is a course that's offered every fall, winter, and spring. It's a different topic every term, different professor, all great. And this class is going to help you think about science in a different way. It's going to help you learn how to apply it, which is going to be the expectation of your future bio courses in the foundations and upper level courses. Just to note, this will also count towards your major if you take a bio major and take this before any of the foundation courses. And then again, your other options could be starting with one of the foundation courses Also to note that sometimes folks don't even start with bio their first year at all because they're focused on math and chemistry. It can often be a place to start later on. Or again, sometimes people start with biology first and then chemistry later. Okay, options for the fall, most importantly, Bio 11, also Bio 12, although that's mostly full by the time you are ready to choose classes. Bio 19 is another version of cell biology, an honors version. And then Bio 14, and oh, by the way, Bio 19 is only for first year students. And then Bio 14, which is physiology, is a wonderful course, but however, it's going to have very few first year students. Most of the students in the course are going to have a lot more experience already. So it's pretty rare that first year students take that one. So be mindful about your own bio background. Again, take that self-assessment if that's something you'd like to test the waters of. In the winter, that's when you can take Bio 2 or Bio 11, and then Bio 13 and 14 are the two foundation courses offered in the winter. And in the spring, once again, Bio 11, and then cell biology Bio 12. All right, so real quick, organic chemistry and biochemistry not taken first year. Very, very rare does anybody wind up taking organic chemistry in their first year. Not too much to say about that right now. We'll talk more about that another day. All right, what about psych and soci? Well, most health profession schools either strongly recommend having at least one social science course, or in some cases, some fields may actually require them. There is also a psych and soci section on the MCAT itself for those who might apply to medical school. Dartmouth Psych 1 and Soci 1 prepare students well for that MCAT and for any of those other recommendations. For your information, both Psych 1 and Soci 1 are taught this year in the fall and in the spring. However, you might want to consider, if you're only taking them for the sake of pre-health prerequisites, you may want to think about waiting and using the opportunity this year to explore other course choices, explore new ideas, consider what your major might be, or check off some other things like language requirements, etc. So just consider that. You could plug in psych and or soci courses later on. If you're exploring a psych, neuro, or soci major, well then, of course, it's very natural to consider taking one of those courses your first year and or second year. Some take Psych 1 and Soci during their Dartmouth career. Some take just one and self-study the rest. And there's also lots of great health-related courses in the Soci department, and if you can only fit in one Soci course, you may decide to take one of those and then self-study the rest. Well, we hope this has been a helpful guide to beginning to think about your courses for this fall and into the first year. Remember that it's not something you have to figure all out right away. Most importantly, we want to help you get off to a good start. It's definitely a journey, as they say, a marathon and not a sprint going through this process. There are a lot of opportunities in the next few weeks to hear more about the health professions program and pre-health at Dartmouth. So definitely you'll be getting notices from your deans about those opportunities starting the first week of September and then during orientation. We are really looking forward to meeting you. And in the meantime, breathe, have patience with yourself as you begin to know the moving parts. Take good care, and we hope you enjoy the last part of your summer. Bye-bye.